Welcome to Built for This. I'm your host, Brian Briscoe. My podcast features captivating conversations with intriguing people who have found purpose in their lives through their career, family, or life experiences, and just why they were built for this. Through the stories that you will hear, I trust that you will be inspired and encouraged to find just what you were built for. So let's get started. And welcome again to another edition of our show. Welcome into the studio. A real treat today to welcome a longtime friend and a guest on the show today. She is a life coach and a personal trainer, and we're going to talk about all that and a lot of great advice she's going to have for you. But Sara Schroeder is my guest today. And Sara, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're going to talk about the great things that you do for people and the services you offer, but let's talk about how you got here. First of all, but I know that writing was a big love of yours coming out of college, and you maybe even taught a little bit on that. But was your first dream to go down a more journalistic or writing avenue as far as a career and the interest along that way?
I really don't know if it was writing. I think I wanted to be, an actress.
Okay.
I wanted to, I don't know. I really honestly can't think about what I wanted. There wasn't a dead set thing. So that's, I guess, the reason why I was an English major, because that offered so many avenues for me. And then I happened to get into teaching. I did note, this is kind of funny. I said I didn't want to become a teacher, and I ended up being a professor for over 8 years. So that was just I started grad school and figured out, well, I love teaching.
Yeah.
I love, talking to people about, writing and just about different ways to express yourself and different, ways to navigate, look at how you can argue your points and, counter argue. And so that was just great. So that kind of, it transitioned into that, but I always kind of knew that it wasn't going to stay teaching, but I didn't know what it was going to come into after that, what else would happen.
Yeah. So. Well, I know that you eventually find your way into personal training. Camp Gladiator, I think, was one of the early stops for you. How did that come about to get you on that journey? And then you identify, hey, this might be what I want to do, help people in their personal training.
Yeah, so I have always loved being physically active and whatnot. Not in the ways that I am now, but when I was still teaching, Camp Gladiator was just this group fitness program in Dallas, and they only had locations in Dallas, but I kept seeing them on Facebook and whatnot. And then when they started adding more locations, there was a location close to me. So I went there as a camper. That's what workout people were called. Yeah. They were campers. Yeah. And the two trainers there said, "We love you. Would you consider going to get certified and then maybe becoming a trainer with us?" And I said, sure, why not? I was in my early 20s, so I went, got certified, did all that. And for a while, most of my teaching, I was then leading Camp Gladiator in the morning, 5:30 a.m., teaching all day, and then doing Camp Gladiator at night. So that's kind of how that went together. And that's when I knew, so Camp Gladiator, leading group fitness classes, which is just another way for me to teach and give a service that I love to other people, which is making them healthier and happier. And I knew that my heart was more in the fitness than it was in the teaching. So when it got to a point where, I opened up the locations in 2008 in Denton, 2007, and I thought, this is just going to be what I do. And so I left teaching to fully work into Camp Gladiator.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What was it that, I guess, gripped you, or early on you thought in your heart that this is going to be your lifelong journey, is to help others identify a better wellness journey, fitness journey, that it really connected to your inner being that, hey, this is what I'm about?
I think everybody has that special thing, their special gift that's just ingrained in them. And when I started leading classes, when they say your intuition just never lies. It was in my heart. I felt it physically. I felt it emotionally that this is what I was supposed to do. And I knew that Camp Gladiator would be a catalyst for other things to come as well. I knew just keep moving forward with it. And just, especially now, I don't know if I can't tell you that I knew this, but I train a lot of clients who are 60 and older now, and just seeing how important strength training is now. I don't know how I knew back then that this was going to be something really important for everybody as you get older, but I think it was just a gift that I had, and seeing the ways that I can work with people now it's really special to see how it kind of evolved over the years.
We're going to dig deeper into the personal training side of it, but you have Sara Schroeder coaching, life coaching, and you do a lot of that. Now, how did that come to fruition? Do you think, I think I can help people not only in their jobs, but personally, their outlook on life, how they approach day to day, that kind of thing?
Yeah, that was a push from my mentor because he, my favorite questions, and for those of you who know me, know my favorite questions are, what do you want?
Yes.
What do you mean by that? And why? And that's because my mentor asked me that, my very first one. And I told him, that I wanted to have this life coaching business and start that. And he was asking me about it. I was like, but I don't think I can do that right now. And he just said, why? Well, why not start this business? And I did not have an answer. I mean, I just sat there and just looked at him like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So then the very next day, I went and got my LLC, and I was like, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing other than I knew how he was working with me. And that was something that I wanted to do with other people, because fitness and mindset go hand in hand. And when he gave me that challenge, I just said, I don't have an excuse. So here I go, which is, I think, why I love helping people break out of their excuses and do the thing, because they are capable of it. If they have that thought, if they have that dream or that whatever they want, it is possible. But sometimes you need someone to help guide you and support you and say, here's what to do specifically, but how do you navigate this situation? Yeah. Because he didn't tell me, well, go get your LLC and let's start. It was just, why aren't you doing this? And I was like, okay, well, here's what I did. Now help. So, yeah.
Well, when you started working with people, what are you finding as maybe their biggest fear when you say, okay, I want to help you with life coaching? What is people's biggest fear when they are facing, what do I want to be? What do I want to do? How do I face today? What are my challenges?
Yeah. The fear of not being good enough in everything. And because that leads into uncertainty, that leads into doubt or fear of judgment, because, and I would say fear of failure, but I think that's one level, and below that is, I'm not good enough to run this business or make money. It's easier for me to work for someone else, make money for them, and then, go through all that stuff. So helping them just kind of break out of this scarcity mindset around the not being good enough, and where that came from and what that means for them, because it's different for each individual and how that shows up.
Right. Mm-hmm. What kind of steps do you help them to get around that or get past those fearful moments or fear about themselves, of failure in particular?
Mm-hmm. With failure, I say, well, let's talk about one specific failure that really made you, that really impacted your life. Mm-hmm. And we write that out completely, in as much detail as possible. Yeah. And then we look at the other side. It's looking at the different perspectives. So had this quote unquote worked, because they quote unquote failed, had it worked out, would they be in this, where would they be right now? Would they be happier? Would they be healthier? Would they have more money or better relationships? And we work through the fact that it wasn't a failure. It was just a way that whatever they want didn't work. Mm-hmm. So therefore, that means there's another way. The obstacle is not through the door, it's underneath or around or climbing or whatever it might be. So, but them just kind of being aware of the quote unquote failure in the first place, and that it's just a part of the process and not a setback. Once they are able to physically sigh and say, oh, I'm actually okay, this happens to everybody, and they accept it within themselves. And it's okay, well, now I don't think about this as my identity. Now my identity is actually how I move forward. So we become more responsive rather than reactionary. And then it's up to them how they move forward. Yeah. That's the second biggest struggle I see, is people say, here's what I want. and they start to move forward, but then another roadblock happens or another failure happens on the way. And it just, their subconscious pulls them back into their comfort level so that they think, well, I'm just going to stay here because there's no hope, when all they're doing is repeating the same pattern over and over, expecting a different result. So I help them stop that pattern with a period. It's like end of sentence, stop, turn the page, or get a different book. We start with just a page, not a book. New page, maybe a new pencil, new pen, new sentence, and we just start from there. Something that they can actually fathom and work into, not like a huge, we don't go straight from failure to here's my big, hairy, audacious goal in a day, because that's not going to happen for anybody. Nope. So, but, then they see like thinking about things differently is one of the biggest ways that you can change what you're doing. That's why I'm always talking about the one jam. Yeah. It's just one thing. I saw that on your sheet. Yeah. And here, like a good example. So, like kind of going into fitness, but for anything, like you set this new goal and it's like, I just spoke with a client and she wants to be healthier. She's life coaching and personal training together. She wants to be healthier. And so for the month of February, she was going to do 26 yoga workouts in the month. And she goes, that's 2 times a week. If my math is off, I'm not a math major. Yeah. So, and then she wanted to do, 26 walks in February, which is 2 a week. And then she wanted to go to the gym X amount of times. And so that sounds great, doesn't it? Like, okay, yoga, walking, gym, like 3 times a week. Yeah. Well, that's a lot of stuff. Like as she was talking to me, we were face to face and I could just see her brain exploding. And she's very capable. Like she runs this business. She is like this ambitious. If you saw her, you're like, yeah, this lady has it all together. But because there were too many things, like, yes, you can be healthier, but there were so many things. I was like, pick one of those things. And she said, okay, walking. I was like, great. And you're saying you want to do 26 in 1 month? That's still too much for your brain to process. So let's start with walk 1 day a week. And she said, that's it. Like, that's it. That's literally your one jam, walk 1 day a week. And I was like, I said, I guarantee you, and would put money down that you do this for 1 week. Next week, you're going to walk 2 days. The day after that, you may walk 2 days and then maybe you go to the gym or something. Like it just are these little things, but you're only writing one time on your calendar. Yeah. Just 1 hour of the 7 days to do that in your calendar where it's done. And she was like, like she got it. Yeah. And she's like, that is so much easier. And that's the thing is we break it. Sometimes you need somebody to help you make it much more simple than it actually is.
So that leads me into a question, which you kind of talked about a little bit there. So many of us make all these New Year's resolutions, and they're almost always around getting in better shape, fitness, my diet, what I'm going to eat, that kind of thing. But piggybacking on what you just said, how much do you see from people that the biggest roadblock is they do try to, their view of what they need to do and the goal is way too big, and so they just don't do it at all. They just put it aside as, well, here's what I need to do, but that looks too big, so I just don't do it.
So it's not that they don't do it at all. I really haven't experienced that. It's that they do it really great for a week and then that's it. And then they don't do it at all. Or for 3 days even. Yeah. And then they're really sore and whatnot, or, they're too sore, or it's Thursday, it's happy hour, or it's, it's like weekend. I'm tired. Yeah. Like I had a really long day and, I'm going to bed at 11. I'm not going to wake up at 5 to go work out. Like you're crazy. I'm not waking up with you. I'm not going to see you at 5:30 a.m. And speaking of patterns, that's just a pattern. They know they've done that in the past. And so, their subconscious did that in the past. Like, oh, like here's what you want to do. But the emotion is more tied to stopping rather than actually moving forward and getting uncomfortable. So like they're more addicted to their start-stop pattern as opposed to what they say they want, this to lose 10 pounds or to get quote unquote toned or whatever it might be. So it's a huge emotional pattern, like a kind of a dysregulated mental block when it comes to working out.
As a life coach and a personal trainer, how do you weave together those two things when you're with a client, or stress to the clients that both of those are important for the development of body, mind, spirit, that all three of those are important by accomplishing these two things?
Yeah. I don't give them both things at once. So if they start with life coaching, we start there.
Yeah.
And we just kind of start with, whatever they might be going through, whatever obstacle they're going through. What do you want? What do you mean by that? Why?
Yeah.
And if they're in personal training, depending on their age range, or if they have, an event coming up, or they're just older and they just need to get healthy, or they've had a surgery and need to come back, we start there. And then after a few sessions, it's like, talk to me about your sleep pattern. Talk to me about what you're eating. But sleep, actually, I try to ask them that first before the food, because lack of sleep is the culprit to a lot of so much stress and so much craziness with life and hormones and all the things. So they absolutely fuse together, but I don't give that to them all at once, because again, it's too much. We just focus on the one jam, like, you are coming to the gym for the first time in a while. That's great. Or you're meeting me an hour a week with life coaching. Cool. Let's just focus on, and everyone's like, when they're done, they're like, we're so, in a good way, but so emotionally exhausted after, because they're just working through, and it's not therapy. They're working through, I never thought about it this way, or how would I move forward? And yesterday I was just talking to somebody, and she was talking about everything that happened, in the past, and repeated patterns and whatnot. And I said, well, what do you actually really want right now when you're thinking about this job? You want to get this new job. What do you really want? And she said, I don't know. And I said, that's where you have to start. And she goes, but I'm looking on Indeed and I'm doing all these things, but she's looking for the same of what she's already had. And so would I say, what do you want? What she likes to be a leader. And she was looking at very specific roles. And I said, but what if we looked in a leader as being very creative? Because she's a very positive person too. How would you be a leader instead of being, I don't know, instead of being an office manager? What else could you lead? What else could you do? What other kind of, career? Yeah, exactly. And so we look at it, she just was thinking okay, because it's no longer an I don't know.
Yeah.
It's either a yes or a no.
Yeah.
And whenever, I guess, when people are like, if you're a yes, but, or there's any kind of something in your system that you can physically feel, I want to lose 10 pounds, but I don't have time, or but this, or but I, whatever XYZ is, any but, it's just that's your subconscious giving you reasons not to do the thing.
I know if you said a sentence there that I want to talk about, that a lot of people, or you ask the client, what do you want? Now, a lot of your videos, I watch all your videos, very, very encouraging and uplifting to people. But that sentence, or that question right there, I know you use a lot. What do you want? And so have you found that is one of the biggest challenges, that when you're life coaching in particular, or even personal training, that people come to you and they're not really sure what they want? They think they want, there's something more in their life, if on the life coaching side, or maybe they're a business owner, but they're not really sure what that is. And so is what you want, or what is it you want? How important is that you drill down to get that answer from them?
Oh, it's the whole point.
Yeah.
And, some people, it just varies. With some people, we kind of know, I say, what do you want? And then we start talking about other things. And I can pick up on things that they say and how they say them, which is why I love talking to people in person. I'm always taking notes, because they'll say things and then I'll repeat back to them. And did you realize you said this? And they're like, whoa, no, I didn't. And sometimes that happens right away. And sometimes it takes 3 months to answer that. There's no wrong or right. It shows me how much they're fighting themselves, how their subconscious is like trying to keep them where they are. And they're so, it shows me how frustrated maybe they are, like because their body is arguing, their heart is arguing with their mind. And until those two get together, right? And that's where it, like you had mentioned before, it is something that's very mental and physical and spiritual, whatever it is that you believe in, like you have to have that, idea of, of faith, of just perseverance, of like something being able to work out. And so I kind of see what that means for them, but that is the entire point for everybody. And the thing is, we know what we want, or once we figure out what we want, I should say, that changes.
Yeah.
Like it probably, it's changed for you.
Oh yeah.
It's changed for me. Like in a year, it's changed for me. And within, kind of funny, like even this week, things have changed for me. And I'm like, gosh, wow. Like this is going to go a whole new direction now. And I had no idea, where did it come from? And it's thrilling and exhilarating and also absolutely terrifying, which is why I have a coach too. Like I would never, like I have my own coaches, plural, that help me with everything because I can't do it by myself. And when I say, this is what I want, they can help me like, okay, cool. Like explain this more. And here's where like, do I come talk to Hannah? Like, honestly, I'm like, I need to talk to her a little bit about something based off this new idea I have, or talk to, I talk every week with my coach. I'm doing bodybuilding now. And like, that's a whole different realm of things. And I'm like, well, now if I want this, like, what do we do now? Or if we want to make it to the natural Olympia, like, how do I get there? And kind of thing. So it's the quintessential thing that you'll always be growing and expanding upon, which is why like the best thing that anybody could ever do is we work together and they're like, and then they say, I've got what I need here. And now they're ready to expand into a different coach or into a different realm, into a different mentorship or something, because when they're like, I gave them everything that I possibly could. And now they've like, okay, I got this. And now this new level requires somebody different. Like that's amazing to me. That's what I hope for everybody. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you see most on the life coaching side? What do business owners or just individuals come to you? Is there a common thread that they mostly come to you, why they're coming to you for life coaching? Maybe they don't know why they're coming, but is there a particular common reason that someone says, I think I need a life coach to help me through this?
Yeah, it's primarily with me. There's a shift in their identity that they don't know how to navigate. So they were part of this relationship for a long time, and that relationship has ended, and they're like, I don't know who I am now. What do I like? What do I dislike? They left a career or a position or something, and they're like, I'm into this. Get to become this new person, but I don't know who that is. How do I expand? How do I level up? Or even just like I turned 40. Like, what do I do now? Like, what is, like here's this quote unquote midlife thing and, or midlife. And now everybody's coming at me with, like, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. Now there's like peptides. Now there's all this thing. And I don't know, like, am I supposed to have this midlife crisis? Am I supposed to be okay? Like, I don't know what I've been giving myself for so long. Now it's time to take more of myself back. So,
it seems like there's been a very significant rise in the need for life coaches over a certain period of time. And to me, it seems like people have just tried to shoulder it themselves without an outlet or a person to talk to. Is that what a coach has become, this shoulder, but also a guiding trail for someone at any point of their life?
It depends on who you ask.
I guess so.
Yes, that is not the kind of coach that I am. To be, it is more, I will support you, I will help you. But if you're coming to me because you want to change something or you need this new identity, that means there's a death of something, to be quite honest. Like there's a death of this in order to become something new. And so I'm here to challenge you, to help you transform, to help you grow, because you can't go become a butterfly from a caterpillar. Like you're just going to stay there. So, the number of people in every session like that give me their version of like, well, dang, Sarah, in their way, like, man. But that's the thing, because we do have a friendship, but I'm not there to be your friend. I'm there to help you get what you want.
That's what a coach is.
Yeah, exactly. Like you want this? Awesome. Like, let's talk about the mindset shift, like how you're waking up in the morning, how you're like, what are you saying to yourself every day? How are you approaching social media? Or, like, who are you looking at? Who are you following? Like, it's just because if you need to change, we do dive into all of it, kind of going back to your question of like, how do you fuse everything together? Yeah. It just depends on where that person is. But it's very much like if you're coming to me because you want something to change. And if you want it to change, then you're going to have to put in work. And I don't know if you can say it sucks on here. I'm sorry, but but it does. Yeah. It's not fun. It is fun once you get past all that stuff. So
mindset. I love that word. It seems like I was on a journey to eat better and for a number of years, and it was all about my mindset. I mean, the food was all out there. It could be whatever it is, but it's the mindset. When you're coaching someone, or even on the personal training side, is that the front end of the battle? Is we've got to get your mindset focused on what journey, what trail you want to go down, then we can do all the things to make that happen.
Exactly. It's just, what are you willing to work for, and what are you willing to sacrifice to get that? Because a lot of times it's not the willpower that's the problem. It's the fact that you're just not following through with what you say that you want.
Good point.
Because your subconscious kind of takes over. So it's definitely mindset. And that's the thing that people don't like, is it's not here's the button, it's switched, and now it's done forever. It's, hey, we work on this again. Like every day, whether you're working with me or any other coach, it's something. My mentors, you would think these people don't need anybody. They have mentors, right? Like, they have their own mentors and whatnot. So it is definitely because what is it they say? Like, so let's say like you're where you are right now and you win the lottery and now you have all this money and you're like, this is amazing, but your mindset hasn't changed. Your habits haven't changed. And so that's why a lot of people blow through that money.
Exactly.
Because they didn't change anything. They just got this. And of course, I'm going to go there a lot. Weight loss is the same exact thing. When you use certain things and you get a certain result right away, it's like, great. But now if you didn't also implement the habits and the mindset in that, you're just going to be in this circle of like continually being on this medication or continually doing that, because you didn't change anything else.
A few minutes ago, you talked about how you work a lot with clients that are over the age of 60 or so. So certainly in my category there. What is it you're finding out about people when they get to that stage of life and they start making a decision, wow, maybe I need to do something to have a happier life, have a more productive life, healthier life? What is it about that stage of life that people get to?
I think it's a combination of, they have grandkids, that they want to keep up with, or they've been to their doctor and their doctor's like, hey, here's, or they saw their parents, who struggled with health. With health and whatnot. And they're like, I don't want to be like that. I want to be able to get out of bed, quite literally, or get out of a chair. Yeah. Or get off the floor, or, because everybody, they're still playing sports. They've got their pickleball, all this stuff. Yeah. They want to be able to like have an active, because let's be honest, 60 is nothing. Like, come on, 60 is like nothing at all. And even some 70-year-olds, I'm like, I trained this 76-year-old lady and she's just fabulous. I was like, I hope I am like Julie when I am 76. She's just this amazing little thing. Like she's got all this stuff. And, you have to like modify and adapt when with certain age ranges and certain, like, if they have injuries or if they've had surgeries or whatnot. But everybody is able to strength train regardless of their age. And the sooner you can do it, the sooner, like, you can build muscle. I don't care how old you are. And when they see that, it is the coolest thing. I have some clients, like I said, who've just, I can see their muscle growth. It may not be like what the 30-year-olds see, but I can see it, and it's enough for them. They're like, I carried my water. I put a case of water into my cart the other day. And it's like, I can do that when I went to Costco. Like, that's huge.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And so then they see like how fitness and working out really applies to their everyday life. So when their everyday life starts becoming harder than it needs to be, that's when a lot of people have come to me. And I'm working with a lot, I guess, like the most common age range I say is I have a lot of 60 plus, and then mid 40s to 50s too. And there's one gentleman I've worked with for 3 years now, and like, he has gotten more. And at first he was like, I don't really want to lift weights. Like, we kind of did more plyometric stuff, but we've started lifting, and he goes, I look better. I feel better. All my tests are coming back better. People are like noticing, like, dang, you are like fit. And everybody, it doesn't matter how old you are. Like, it feels good when people are like, he works out, she works out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's just a thing. So, it just becomes, it literally is a way to help you live a long, healthy life. And I think that's the thing that people get through their watching their grandkids or seeing their elderly parents, or, just not being having a harder time moving on their own.
And when a lot of people think about weight training or going to the gym, they're envisioning maybe these 20 and 30-year-olds out there doing that. But what you just talked about are an older set of people. And for you, it's got to make you feel good in what you do in life when you're seeing a testament from 40s, 50s, 60s, 70-year-old people that are choosing to live a better life. But isn't that a great testament to the community to think, like, there is something you can do to make yourself feel better?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I try and post. I haven't lately, actually need to post more, but just like watching. So hinging is such an important move, and none of us really know how to hinge correctly because we were never taught that. Like, it wasn't growing up. It was like, well, here's how you're supposed to like hinge, like when you pick up a laundry basket, for instance, or pick up keys from the ground, or, picking up anything off the floor, we do it absolutely wrong. So like teaching the hinge pattern. And so whenever people get the hinge now, like, I record it, and it's like the greatest thing ever, because it's like, this is a natural movement pattern that just with age and any sports that we did, or just life, sitting down all the time, like, like that's just not something that we're all meant to be doing all the time. And so just showing people, like, you can do this, like, you've got this. Yeah.
What about you? How has going down this journey of being a life coach and a personal trainer, how has it changed you as a person? When you first started out, you were trying to figure out, okay, am I going to be an actress? Am I going to go this creative route in life? But then you discover the personal training. But what for you personally has it changed you, either spiritually or certainly physically? It's obvious, but as a person, you think?
I mean, gosh, it's made me who I am today, and I'm so excited to see what versions are out there after this. I would say too that everybody has those years that are just awful years, and for me, I had an awful year between the end of 22 through 24, like, so all of 23, and it was it was just a very tough year, a lot of things going on, and that was the year that almost broke me, but it didn't, because in the back of my mind, I was like, you can move forward. You can, it doesn't feel like it today. It's not going to feel like it tomorrow. I don't know when it's going to, like, over a year later is when I finally was like, oh, here's Sarah again. Wow. But I just didn't, because of what I do, I didn't give up on myself.
Yeah.
I had to struggle with getting back into the worthiness thing, which is why I go to Valley Creek Church now. That's what I just saw him, and going there in 2023 helped a lot. They actually had a sermon series called The Hope Carrier, which talked all about identity, purpose, and relationships, which is what I needed to recover. So that helped. Doing more mindset work, and just slowly learning to accept myself again and get back into like, what does even working out look like now? Because I was group fitness for so long, and then it was CrossFit for a while, and then I turned 40, and it was like, you can't CrossFit 6 days a week anymore. I'm sorry. My body was just like, and so then I did High Rocks, and it like, because of me just being willing to try these new things is how I got into going to Brick House. Like, I went there to go just lift weights. I've never just lifted weights. And in the morning, that early, it's a bro gym. Like, there's guys there, and it's terrifying. The first time I went in there, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? I don't understand. And everybody, like, that gym is the best. Everyone was so nice. But then, and I just kept every day, I was like, you just got to go back. Like, you might not know what you're doing, but you just keep showing up. And I wasn't afraid. I think one of the things that life coaching told me is that never be afraid to ask the question, because nobody knows that you don't know. And even if you do know something, doesn't mean you can't ask a question. That's one thing I learned. And what I was able to talk through with, again, mentors, not mentors, and just like, here's what it looks like to move forward. And it's going to be slow. I didn't realize it was going to take a year, but I knew over a year, but I knew I would get there one day. So that's really what helped me. And then out of nowhere, I had met my bodybuilding coach at the end of 2024, and she was talking to me about it then, and she didn't start till her mid 40s, and we were talking, and it sounded great. And I was working out then, like I was like, oh yeah, but I was not ready for that level of discipline. I was like, there is zero way. Like, we're still, And then last year in August, the beginning of August, I was talking to somebody at the gym, and bodybuilding came up. And then 2 times in one day, bodybuilding came up, and I was like, I wonder if that lady would remember me. So I reached out. She's like, yeah, I remember you. And I was like, hey, let's just start bodybuilding. That's the same thing. Like with my mentor, he's like, why don't you just start this business? I was like, why don't I just start bodybuilding? I have no idea. And then that turned into this crazy, that journey was insane too. Like, we went like starting in August, and I was just going to start and get used to it. And then she said, there's this show in Florida in November. Like, if you want to just get your feet wet and see what you think about it. Cool. So I went into what's called prep right away, which that's, speaking of discipline, lack of food. And I think but to your point, like, that's, having gone through everything that I did, I don't think I would have made it as a bodybuilder until last year, because I needed to go through everything and work on myself and everything to get to the point where bodybuilding was the next step. Yeah. So that's how, and I can't even tell you, like,
and you did amazingly well. I know.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Did well. That's still crazy. I won. I was in 4 categories, won each category, and then won the overall show winner. So that was just crazy. Crazy. So yeah. And now we're in building season. So, which means I get to eat a lot of food right now, which is awesome. Okay. It's still structured. I'm not eating everything or like whatever I want to eat, but, and through all of that, just being able to learn more about myself and what consistency looks like, what showing up for yourself looks like, what trusting yourself and actually loving yourself no matter what. Now I feel like, oh, this is just, when I said like there's new things, I was like, oh, this is just the beginning. Because if I can come out of feeling unlovable, rejected, and unworthy, I can help these people who are going through that too.
And that's the deeper purpose I'd like you to talk about. Through the period of time you were talking about that it was a difficult time for you, but with the stringent dedication that you have to personal training and life coaching, and it is sticking to a regimen and going through that. I know we'll have a lot of viewers and listeners to this show going through those same kind of things, but if you can talk about the benefits of personal training and life coaching, if a person is trying to find, like you were at that time, trying to find your identity again, trying to find purpose, trying to love yourself again, how did all those play into be, I don't want to say saving you, but pulled you up from where you were to get you through it? The basics of the consistency that you had to stick to.
Gosh, I had a lot of help from my coach at first too, who helped me get through, helped me just be like, here's what I said I was going to do today. And I said I was going to do it. So I'm going to do it. And when you're addicted to being unlovable and rejected and unworthy, you can go through the motions all day long and it's still going to be there until you decide, but I'm going through the motions because I'm going to get out of this. Like the addiction changes from, this is no longer who I am. I am no longer I'm no longer this person. I am now a woman who goes to the gym because that's one thing I can control. I can't control anything else. Or, this is the person who shows up to talk to her coach, even when she doesn't want to. She could have canceled. She could have done anything. She didn't have to do the work, but it's just, you have to make it. You have to make the decision that it goes from an addiction to what you were to alignment of what and who you are, like the alignment of who you're meant to be. Because like I said at the very beginning, all of us have gifts. All of us are here for a reason. So when you realize like there's something that you're meant to do that helps you, okay, now when I go to the gym, this is going to help me one more time. This one day is going to help me. This one rep is going to do something for me. I don't know when it's going to look like, but that one thing is going to turn into this kind of muscle. It's going to turn into me applying for this job that I didn't think for. It's going to turn into me going on a dating app. It's going to turn into me like posting this photo of myself, even though I really don't want to. Like it's going to turn into me saying, you know what? I actually am okay today. And it just becomes this thing, but you've got to like moving yourself out of that is just such a powerful thing that you've got to find like where that hits you and just say, I'm deciding today to do something different.
That's pretty powerful stuff right there. If you had to encourage someone who is hesitant on they know they want to change their life, they don't want to get healthier, maybe they've just tried to fix all of that with more medications and stuff instead of a more natural wellness way. What would you encourage, or what would be the word of encouragement you give someone who says, I want to start somewhere, but I keep starting and stopping or starting and I think I'm failing, but how would you encourage someone?
Well, this is I don't know if it's an encouragement, because I want to do this, but I'm afraid I'm going to fail. You've already failed.
Yeah. By just suggesting that.
Like, and it's, I want to, but no.
Yeah.
You make the decision and then you do it, which is why with that one lady, she wanted to do all those things, walk, gym, and yoga, too much for her brain. Her brain can hold all the capacity to run a business, zero capacity to do all of these other things.
Yeah.
Even though she knows that'll make her a better person, it was just too much for her to handle. So you just have to get very real with yourself and say, this is what I'm doing, period. And then you do it. And you keep doing it. I have this other lady, she made the decision. I was so proud of her. She's like, I'm going to go. She's life coaching and personal training. And I see her on Saturdays. And I saw her at the gym 2 days. And I was like, I saw you at the gym. This was great. And she goes, yeah, I made the decision to do that. And so she did. She showed up and she was there at 5:30 a.m. or, like early. Yeah. And then she's like, oh, but next week is already going to be a thing because I have to go into the office here and I have to do this. And so she's like, I don't know if I'm going to do it. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. That's wrong. Like you said you're going to go 2 times a week. Oh, because her days were Monday and Thursday. That was the kicker. She's like, yeah, Monday, Thursday. And she goes, oh, but I can't do Monday, Thursday next week because of X, Y, and Z. And I was like, doesn't matter. Like you said, 2 days. And she goes, but I can't do Thursday. And she starts going down the rabbit hole. And I was like, I'm just stopping you right here. Like, I was like, you said, like you physically just said to me, I made the decision. I'm going to work out 2 other times. So you figure out what that means, what that is, and then you do it. Yeah. And that's what a coach does, like they tell you, like you are telling me you want this for the betterment of your own, like for your, I don't know, your hot body, or to be with your grandkids, or to be whatever you want, like to have better relationship with yourself so you can have better relationships with others. You just have to make the decision and then just take that one decision one step at a time. Don't add other things to it. Don't say, I'm going to go to the gym and add protein, go to the gym and do this. No. Just walk one day or just go to the gym for 30 minutes, whatever it might be. So, but you have to, make the decision. You can't back it up with an excuse.
That's great. Great advice. That's a great one jam for the day advice. You have great energy, Sara, and great advice on life coaching and personal training. You're doing some great work. And I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing because you're a great inspiration to a lot of people to better themselves in their lives for what they're doing. So keep doing that, and thanks for being on the show with me today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciated it. This was awesome.
Keep doing it.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of Built for This. Be sure to follow Built for This on your favorite listening platform and share it with a friend. Join me on the next episode when I will share entertaining stories of inspiration, encouragement, and purpose-driven experiences. What are you built for? Built for This is produced and recorded by Heart Media DFW.